Sean in 4, McGregor in 5. McGregor got up well. Sean trying to respond now. Also. Negative 1.1 meters per second, the wind speed. Negative 1.1 meters per second, the wind speed. Anthony Strong of the MVP Track Club, 11.71. Felicia McGregor of UWI Mona, 11.76. Crystal Morrison of Titans, 11.83. Angelina Ferguson of Dynamic.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 16th staging of the Velocity Fest. This is happening courtesy of the Stride Vision Television, and this and just while we tell you that, let's let you know that the top 16 from all these 3-8s will qualify for the finals. There are going to be two sections in terms of an A and a B finals. The A final will feature the top 8 competitors, while the B final will feature the other 8, 9 ranked through 16. So the first 8 went to Kashika Cameron of Elite 11.54, running into a negative point. Was fourth in 12.01 seconds. Paris King of Racers and Great Britain as well was fifth in 12.42. Jaden Bennett of UTEC 12.87. Sixth, Shamoyam Gentis in 7th, 13.05. Those were the contestants in the first heat. The second heat went to Anthony Strong of the Bahamas and of MVP 11.71 into a minus 1.1 meters per second win. Renisha McGregor was second in 11.76. Crystal Morrison Erdler in the sprint event finished in 11.83. Angelina Ferguson of Dynamic Speed Track Club finished fourth in 12.10. Sashel Walters 11.39 was fifth. So now we're gonna catch up to the live Eat on track, and this is E3. Lane 1 features Lanika Fraser of Tarrant. Lane 2, Chanel Dawson of UTEC. 3, Lavana Williams of Elite. 4 is going to be Serena Cole of MVP. 5 features the world record holder in the 100-meter hurdles for women. That's Toby Amusan of Nigeria. Sharia Enore of Titans, runners of Lane 6. In 7 is Odisha France of JC Foster. And in Lane 8, Brianna Gardner of Motorcade. So 8 athletes to face the start. Again, reminded that the top 16 qualifies to the finals, and that being A and B finals. That comes up a little later. So let's see which one will win this event. Let's look to lane 4. That's Cole of MVP. So to Amusan. Let's see what the hurdler does against the sprinter. The starter calls them to the marks, and the gun sends them off, and a slip there from the athletes in lane 3. That looks to be Lavanya Williams at a slight stumble, and the starter recalls that heat to ensure that a fair chance is given to the athletes. And I'm sure this won't be a charge to the field itself, but they'll have them resettle and come again. So this is E3 of the women's 100 meters happening here at the 16th staging of the Velocity Fest. We said that early on, and this is courtesy of the MVP Track Club. These meets have really formed an integral part of the development, the background program for a lot of athletes who look to advance their seasons in order to be ready for those major games to start at the national trials, both for Jamaica and their other countries, because of course, yes, we have athletes from the Caribbean, athletes from the UK, US, and also as far as Nigeria, there are athletes competing, training locally. So they use these meets as a part of their background and development programs as they go forward. So again, we reset and get ready for the third heat in the women's 100 meters. Again, let's quickly tell you that these are Lenica Fraser, runs of lane 1, Chanel Dawson 2, Lavana Williams of Elite in 3, Serena Cole of MVP in 4, 5 features Toby Amusan of Racers, 6 Sharia Henry of Titans, 7 Odisha France of GC, and 7 Motorcade. And the gun says of this time is a lean, clean start, and looks to be Serena Cole that's leading them and chasing them is Amusan, but it's all about Serena Cole. Now Amusan steps to the front and win this one ahead of Serena Cole. So it's the Toby Amusan that wins this one, running in 29 meters per second, 11.41. The Serena Cole second, 11.50. The first two there, and that was some good sprinting there from the athletes, but Amusan coming just ahead of Serena Cole, and we hope to see them back a little later on. So Williams, Lavania, that was finished third in 11.67, Henry Schreier, Henry fourth, 12.16, and Dawson fifth, 12.46 to run out the top 5 from that third 8. So quickly we're going to tell you who qualifies for the 2 finals, as we said, that is to come, the A finals and the B final, and these will come up just a little bit later on in that event. So the overall qualifies from all 3 heats that would have been contested sees Toby Amusan leading all qualifiers, Serena Cole qualifies, Kashika Cameron, Lavana Williams, Anthony Strawn, Ronisha McGregor, Jura Lever, Crystal Morris. Those will contest the A finals, and the B finals will be contested by Shavana Grant, Tritania Lowe, Angelina Ferguson, Shoria Henry, Paris King, Chanel Dawson, Odisha France, and Brianna Gordon will contest the B finals that comes up a little later on in this women's 100 meters. So we get ready for the men, and we should have in excess of 9 heats for the men. The top 24 will qualify onto the respective finals. Therefore, we should have 3 finals, a A finals, a B final, and a C final that will come up a little later on. And the first heat should feature the likes of Jordan James of GC Foster College, Taekwondo Tracy scheduled for that, sprinter, veteran, some would call him by now. We're seeing of his recent exploits as a bobsleigher. Lane 3 should feature Tishan Sealy of Barbados, Gia Bernal of Panama, and the Sub Track Club should be in lane 7. Joel Bryan runs out of lane 8. So 2 late non-starters there, so 6 athletes should go off in this, the first heat of the men's 100 meters. Again, we say good afternoon and welcome to our listeners, viewers here on Stride Vision Television. You're watching the 16th staging of the Velocity Fest, which forms part of their track and field series. And we ask that you like, subscribe, share, and leave us a comment and let us know how we can serve you better as we continue to bring to you local track and field, and to ensure that you are brought up to speed with all that's happening at these different track meets. So each one of the men's 100 meter comes up next. And again, let's tell you quickly who's there. James, Tracy, Seeley, Bernal, Brian are your 6 contestants for this, the first season. The gun sends them off, and it looks to be a clean break. Look to the lead from UTEC. It looks to be Seeley. Seeley's leading, but now comes Tracy. Tracy now takes the lead, and he will step away from them comfortably. So that's Taekwondo Tracy 10.82 win this heat. Looking pretty easy. They're running into a strong headwind, negative 0.29 meters per second. Tracy 10.85, Sealy, early leader, finishes second 10.96, and Jordan James of GC Foster finishes third 11.10. Brian was fourth 11.46. Those are your athletes that round out that top four. Again, we remind you that the top 24 will come back for competition just a little later. Top 8 goes in the A finals. Ranks 9 to 16 will contest the B finals, and the remaining 8 through to 24 will contest that C finals. So that's the first 8 going to Taekwondo. Tracy of swept 10.85 ahead of Sealy of UTEC 10.96. Now E2 comes up shortly, and this one should feature the likes of Romario McIntosh of Dynamic Speed Track Club. Devon Lysite of Swept should be in lane 2. Wayne McPherson of Dynamic Speed as well in 3. Jason Lois of Swept in 3. Earl Simmons of GC Foster College and St. Vincent should be in lane 5. Rashid Foster of Jamaica and Michael Track Club should be in 6. Christopher Scott of UTEC in 7. And Romain Affundan of Michael should be in lane 8. And we're hearing in the background from the stadium announcer that Sean D. Thompson has taken the lead in the men's long jump, launching out to a mark of 8.04 meters legal jump there. So he has now got over that magical 8 meters mark, and we hope that this is some form of resurgence for this young man. Very talented young man, and would have had his chances. 2024, I think 2023-4 was pretty good season for him, just missing a chance at the Olympics then and the World Championships then. So let's see what he does this year. E2, is it that is on track now? Let's remind you the contestants are Romario McIntosh runs out of lane 1. Devon Lysite is in 2. Wayne McPherson in 3. Jason Lewis in 4. Earl Simmons in 5. Rashid Foster in 6. Christopher Scott in 7. And Romain Affundan runs out of lane 8. This is E2 of 9, with athletes chasing a spot in the top 24. And I know preferably they'll be gunning for the top 8, as those will contest the A final proper, and the remaining athletes from 9th rank to 24 will split in 8 for the B and the C finals according to their times done in these heats. So again, this is the 16th staging of the Velocity Tracker Meet, happening at the Ashenheim Stadium here at Jamaica College. We're seeing just a few athletes. Decent handful of athletes are here. They're warming up. Action is live both on the track and in the field. The men's long jump is happening as we speak. Again, Sean D. Thompson leads that one, and the women's discus, the last we heard, Samantha Hall, is leading that event. So now E2 comes up. Now McIntosh from Dynamic Speed, Lyside swept. McPherson Dynamic Speed, Lewis swept. Simmons, GC Foster, Foster Michael, Scott Utek, and Affundan from Michael. So the gun and the starter calls them to their marks. And we're seeing a raise of a hand there from the athletes. Foster from GC Foster looks to be Foster for Michael rather looks to be not so comfortable with his blocks, so he'll get the opportunity to reset and refocus for this the second heat of the men's 100 meters, sponsored by Grace Kennedy, and features a full field. Like what we saw in the first one where there were some missing athletes, this one should feature a full field, and they are chasing a spot in the final that will comes up a little later. So if you're not here, you can make your way down. It's a very cool Saturday afternoon. here at Jamaica College. And things are expected to get a little bit more interesting later on when the other events comes up, to include these finals of the 100 meters along with that event. So now the gun sends them off, and this is E2, and it looks to be the late McPherson. So to McIntosh, but look to Simmons in the middle. Simmons that seemed to be getting, and now Foster steps to the line, and he will win this one. That's Rashid Foster of Michael, 10.63, that will win this one as he runs into a negative 1.9 meters per second, 10.65. Rashid Foster of Michael. And second spot will tell you momentarily, but the winner for sure, Simmons, is given second, 10.83 seconds. That's Simmons of GC Foster, Earl Simmons, that is. And 3, there was a blanket finish behind Foster. And we'll tell you momentarily who was credited with third, and that looks to be Wayne McPherson, 10.88 for third. Fourth is Lois Jason Lewis, 10.89. And fifth is the athlete that represents Lysite that swept, finishing 10.94, and Scott in 6:10.94. So Rashid Foster there taking that one in 10.65 ahead of Simmons, 10.83 into a negative 1.9 meters per second. Young man there. Foster out of Michael, been doing some wonderful things for Michael and bringing that program to life, and we look forward to see what he does as he goes through the rest of the season, the collegiate season, and to include the national championship that comes up in June as is set at the present moment. So Heat 2 is now out of the way, and we get ready for Heat 3. Again, remind you that all athletes, well, at least the top 24, will have a chance to come back to contest the finals that is to come up just a little later. So number 3 comes up shortly, and this one should feature Odain Tolo running out of lane 1, Dynamic Speed Track Club. Lane 2, Demar Sales of NVP. Lane 3, Shakur Williams of Titan. 4, Odain Crooks of a New Era. Tayshawn Barnes of GC Foster runs out of lane 5. Mario Williams of MVP runs out of lane 6. And 7, John Noy Ogilvy of Dynamic Speed Track Club are the athletes that makes up this one. So these are the 7 athletes that will contest Heat 3 of 9 in the men's 100 meters. So the starter calls them to their marks. Tolo, Sales, Williams, Crooks, Barnes, Williams, and Ogilvy are the athletes down for this, the 3rd of 9. So the starter not yet ready for them, so they at least stride out as they get themselves composed to contest this event. Again, this is the 16th staging of Velocity Fest, courtesy of the MVP Track Club, happening at the Jamaica College Ashenheim Stadium complex, and it is being brought to you courtesy of StrideVision Television as a part of their ongoing athletics series. We ask that you like, subscribe, share as you enjoy the coverage being brought to you. E3 of the men's 100 meter on track, Tolo, Sales, Williams, Crooks, Barnes, Williams, Ogilvy are all there as the gun calls them to the start. That looks to be a quick break there and a break. Let's see what will happen. Looks to be from the inside lanes, but we're not absolutely sure who it was, but the starters will figure that one out, as we have not had much. Well, this is actually the first recall we have seen since the commencement of the 100 meters, and let's hope this doesn't become a feature going forward. And we know these athletes sometimes get a little bit excited as they get ready to display their talent and to try as best to execute their races. These things do happen. So they'll have to resettle, and let's see what the starters will do. We're not seeing any other starters. Yes, I've moved to the athletes. They are standing inside their respective lanes as they get ready to go for the second time, and it looks to be a charge to the entire field. Well, I've seen Ogilvy walking away. That's Johan Ogilvy. So he seems to be the one that has been disqualified. That's the man that has created some stir and some talk just a few weeks ago at the Gibson McCook Relays. Ogilvy, the Masters athlete there, charged with that. So they have reset now, and the gun sends him off, and it looks to be the man sails from MVP. But there is another callback. Second time around. Let's see what will happen. So Ogilvy charged with the first one, according to track rule 16.8. Moving before the firing of the gun. And now let's see what will happen as regards to these other 6 gentlemen who had remained for that second ask. The Stolo, Sales, Crooks, Barnes, and Williams. So now it looks to be Shakur Williams of Titan that has been charged with a false start according to rule 16.8. That is moving before the sound of the gun. So the field has now been narrowed down to just about 5 athletes. And let's tell you who they are again. Tolo from Dynamic Speed, Sales from MVP, Crooks from New Era, Barnes from GC Foster College, and Mario Williams from MVP. Those are the athletes that remains for this one. This is the third heat in the men's 100 meters. 3 of 9 that is set to be contested, with just about 24 athletes vying for second runs, some would call it, or sectioned finals that are to come just a little later on in the program. So let's see who will secure a spot or secure spots to those events. So the gun sends them on for the third time of asking, and again, this is a fourth firing of the gun, with 3 being recalls, and now for the 4th time there's a recall. And let's see what will happen. The gentlemen are not so pleased with what they are seeing. The reactions from the fans that are here is also suggesting that this is not what they're interested in seeing. But let's see what the starters will do for this one, because this can become a little frustrating when we have these numerous false starts happening. But again, humans they are. But again, all coaches will tell you and remind you to react to the gun. Do not anticipate the gun, but react. And in that case, you should be fine and not be charged with a false start. And now we look to see which athlete or athletes, if any at all, will be a judge to have make an early break, or in the case we're seeing the officials there led by Bruce James standing, what looks to be in lane 3, looks to be the athlete in 4 rather, that looks to be the athlete in 4. Crooks there standing in his lane, not sure if he'll be charged. So far we're not seeing anybody that have left us, so it looks to be a green card for the entire field. So all 5 athletes will remain, and that is Tolo from Dynamic Speed, Sales from MVP, Cooks from New Era, and Barnes from GC Foster, along with Mario Williams of the MVP Track Club. So for the 5th time, the starter calls them, and the gun sends them off, and this one looks to be a very clean start. Williams of MVP is also there, so too Brooks of New E Foster. But look at Barnes now. Barnes of GC Foundation, Barnes, and Crooks it is, looks to be from New Era that wins that one. Odain Crooks coming across the line in 10.54, running into a minus 1.8 meters per second. Odain Crooks winning this one. Of New Era Track Club win this one. Barnes, Station Barnes of GC Foster College is in second, 10.60. Williams 10.61. That's Mario Williams. And in fourth, that's Sales 10.86, and Tolo finishing at the back of the field in this one. So that looks to be just about the fastest time so far based on what we are seeing from all the athletes. So it's Odain Crooks 10.54, Tayshawn Barnes 10.60, Mario Williams 10.61, Demar Sales 10.86, and Odain Toller finishes in fifth 11.30. That is heat 3 of the men 100 meter. Let's quickly go to lane heat 4 as they're coming up quick and fast. Caden Robinson runs out of lane 1. That's from JC. Kashim Green of MVP is in lane 2. Javon White of GC Foster in 3. 4. Nikai Drummond of Swep. Omarion Barrett from left steer Town now with GC Foster in lane 5. Oden McPherson of Sprintech in 6. Jordan Ferguson of KC in 6. And in lane 8 will be Marquis Zephyrin Excelsior Community College. So this is it for athletes qualifying into their respective finals that will come up a little later. The top 24 will advance with the first 8 in section A, the next 8 in section B, and the latter 8 will be in from 17 to 24 will run in 8 or final C. So the starter calls them Robbins of JC, Green of MVP, White of GC Foster College, Drummond of Swep, Barrett of GC, McPherson of Swep, Ferguson of KC, and Zephyrin of Excelsior Community College. So the off and running, looks to be the man from GC Foster. That looks to be Javon White, White of GC Foster, but now looks to his teammate McPherson of Springtech. So McPherson of Springtech will win this one, 10.55 for Odain McPherson from Sprintech, minus 1.4 meters per second. So McPherson 10.55 ahead of Omaria Barrett 10.67 and Javon White 10.78, Ferguson 10.80 for fourth. That's Jordan Green 10.98, Kashim Green that is, and in fifth it looks to be the athlete from Green, it as in fifth, and Zephyrin finishes sixth, and Robinson running out the field in 7 with 11.45. So some good running there for the young man, Odain McPherson, looking pretty comfortable. Not necessarily the fastest qualifier, but it looked very comfortable and controlled in the execution of that one. That's McPherson of Sprintech. Heat 5 comes up right on schedule, and this one should feature Tevin Iman of GC Foster College, Rashane McLeod of Titans in the lane 4, Ashani Smith of Dynamic Speed runs out of 5, and this is to be Kandai Katusi of Japan and Racers runs out of lane 6, Davin Fleming of Antigua and GC Foster runs out of 7, Turner J0 Turner runs out of lane 8, and in lane 1 should have been Amario Thorpe. He's a late non-starter, and in lane 2 should have been Blackwood, Ocean Blackwood of Bethlehem Moravian. He's also a late non-starter. So from lanes 3 to 8 are occupied in this, the 5th section of 9 for the men's 100 meters at this, the 16th staging of Velocity Fest, a track meet happening at the JC Ashenheim Stadium. And really and truly, these should be some excited times ahead, as almost all athletes, that's 24, have a chance of coming back for the finals. So let's see who will make good on being in the A final. Iman, McLeod, Smith, Katuse, Flemings, Turner, all called to their marks. This is heat 5 of 9 in the men's 100 meters. So the starter sends them off. This looks to be an even break. Look to the young man from Titans, McLeod, so to Iman, but Katus is also there, and so to Smith, Ashani Smith will win this one of dynamic speed, 10.55. Ashanheim Smith will win this one, running into a negative win. That's what they've been running through all afternoon. Negative 0.9 meters per second. The wind has died down a little, but still running against the wind. 10.55 Kasuse, 10.75 McLeod, 10.91 for third in that one. And fourth Blackwood 11.04, Fleming 11.10, and fifth looks to be the athlete Fleming, Davin Fleming 11.10. So Smith there ahead of the Japanese athlete, coming 1 and 2, with McLeod of Titans finishing in third. And now we move quickly to Heat 6. That will come up just about now. And just let's remind you that the high jump for men is warming up. Long jump for women is also warming up. Discus throw for women is on track. And let's just tell you what that competition seemed to have ended, with Samantha Hall weighing in 56.16 meters. That's Samantha Hall of MVP ahead of Shade Lawrence of Reckless Control 55.96, and Victoria Christie also of Reckless Control 48 meters flashed for a new personal best there, running out the top 3. The long jump for men still happening. Shondi Thompson rather, 8.02 meters leads that one ahead of Tomlinson with 7.46, and Aubrey Allen 7.36. So we go to Heat 6. Heat 6, this is in the men's 100 meters, and it should feature Akeem Blake, Kishan Thomas, Romando Thomas, Ramal Swell, Kenil Campbell, Kadin Ibert, and Kenil Campbell, who should be there, are reportedly late starters. So let's see what Hakeem Blake will do. And he gets a good start. So Blake, he steps out quickly ahead of the field. It's about Hakeem Blake that leads this field, and he will win this one, looking very brisk. 10.323. That's the flash time, 10.23 for Hakeem Blake of dynamic speed into a negative 0.9 meters per second. 10.23 for Hakeem Blake, looking sharp. And that's some interesting display there by the athlete there, young man Hakeem Blake, winning that one ahead of his competitors. So let's see what he does. Win to finish the second, 10.56. Thomas 10.76 for third. Swell 10.99 for fourth. Clark 11.13 rounds out the top 5. So Hakeem Blake wins that one ahead of Wind, Thomas, and Swell. So it's really a very interesting season that will be. Really a good season that will be for Hakeem Blake. So this is going to be the next heat that will come on. It's going to be heat 8, heat of 9. So this is the penultimate heat that is on track, and this one should feature Deans St. Hilaire representing Jamaica College, Nikada Hines in 2, or rather it's Heat 7. Let's take you back to that one. Heat 7, Ajani Campbell of JC in lane 2, Shawnee Sigri, Jace Witter of GC Foster in 4, Makish Compton of Spintech and Vincent Vincent in 5, 6, Zanil Hughes of Racers, Milton Kirk of the Virgin Island, and Utah, and Yankyo Yip of Swap Track Club are the athletes for this, the 7th of 9. And again, we look to see if all the athletes are there. They're there, yes. Campbell, Sigri, Witter, Compton, Hughes, Creek, and Yip ball reported for this one. And let's see what Zaniel will do here. Very well-known character he is and has been around for some time. Somebody's asking earlier if he spends all his time, if he has spent all his track time in Jamaica, and I think that's a yes. From his days of competing to now as an high schooler to now being a seasoned professional, Zaniel has been with the Racers Track Club. So let's see what happened here. And the Gunsons of Mafia used to be an even break, and Hughes steps away quickly from the field. So Hughes is going through, but so too Compton is there. But look to Hughes now. Hughes will step away from them. So Hughes comes through 10.11. That's a flash time there for Zaniel Hughes, minus 0.5 meters per second. So that time is very nippy, 10.11 for Zaniel Hughes to win that one, ahead of Shani Sigri 10.57 and Jace Witter 10.58. Those three are your top three in this one, but none more impressive than Zaniel Hughes of Racers Track Club winning that one. Looking very, very sharp. Zaniel Hughes, that is, with the others trailing in his win. Fourth is Compton in 10.61, Campbell 11.00, and Milton Creek in 11.232, with Yanku Yip 11.40, rounding out the top 7. So the 8th and penultimate heat comes up next, and this is Dean's St. Clair. In 2, Nikada Hines. In 3, Kyle Richards. 4, in 5 is Adrian Carr. 6, Jordan Morgan. 7, Denish Ming. Your competitors there. Allen competing in the long jump. Don't think he will report for this one. So to Aaron Tucker of Swep are your late non-starters. So it's gonna be St. Hilaire, Hines, Richards, Kerr, and Morgan to contest the penultimate heat in the men's 100 meters. And let's see what will happen here. Should be an even break, but let's look to motorcades. Kerr, as well as the young man Morgan from Dynamic Speed Track Club. So the starter calls them to their mark. St. Hilaire, Hines, Richards, Kerr, Morgan, and Man from India. So the gun sends him off, and Adrian Carr steps out early and he's moving away from the field, but he's been minus 0.4 meters per second, 10.37 for Carr, Morgan 10.44, Richards 10.75 as your top 3 there. And in 4th, that looks to be Richards in 4th, and Hines, Carter Hines comes up 10.77, St. Hilaire 5th, 11.09, and Mane finishes 6th in that one. So Carr winning that one there. Adrian Carr from his Formula of Casey now runs for the Motorcade Track Club, winning the 8th and penultimate heat. So the 9th heat comes up next, and this one should feature Rashawn Richards from UE, Clinton Simmons of GC Foster, Devon Whiteley in lane 4, Brendan Rodney of Sprintech and Canada. 6th is Satalai Kakeen of Zambia and Racers, 7 Lennon Green, and 8 should be Mark Stevenson. Those are the 8 athletes, or 7 athletes, that should be contesting this one. This is the final heat of the men's 100 meters as the athletes continue to chase a spot in the final, and there are many options there is for the athletes to come back. There are 3 finals that will be contested, section finals, sections A, B, and C, and 24 athletes will advance. Let's see if all of them will come back to include Hughes and to include Blake, those two athletes who did some very good times there in those heats. Let's see if they will come back for those finals. So the gun calls them now, and they're off, and it looks to be Brendan Rodney. Rodney of Sprintech, that is moving best of all, says Rodney of Sprintech, and now being challenged by Whiteley and Simmons. But look to Rodney. Rodney, 10.59. That's a flash time. Will win that one into a minus 2.0 meters per second. 10.59 from Rodney. Kakine of Zambian racers 10.62, Green 10.71, and in fourth looks to be Simmons 10.86, Stevens is 11.07, and Richards finishing sixth in that one, with Whiteley finishing at the back of the field. So the athletes there in that final one will now sit by and wait to see if they have made that cut for the top 24, and also we'll confirm to you who are the athletes that will contest the finals that are to come up just a little bit later. And again, remind our listeners and viewers that there will be 3 sectioned finals that will come up just a little bit later. So let's tell you quickly, courtesy of our hub, the Rasta hub, that provides us with that information and the men's event. So we're still waiting for the final settlement. Whilst we're doing that, let's just tell you quickly of the athletes that are registered time. So the A final should feature Zanel Hughes, Akeem Blake, Adrian Carr, Jordan Morgan, O'Dane Crooks, O'Dane McPherson, Ashani Smith, and Orlando Wynn. The B final should feature Ashani Sigri, Jace Witter, Brandon Rodney, Tayshawn Barnes, Mario Williams, Makish Compton, and Satalai Kakini, along with Rashid Foster. And section C should feature Nicole Drummond, Lennon Green, Kyle Richards, Kendai Katuse, Keyshawn Thomas, Nicardo Hines, Javon White, and rounding out that 24, Omarion Barrett of GC Foster. So all those athletes are scheduled, are expected to come back and return a little later for the men finals. That's the 100 meters there for the men. So let's see what we'll obtain just a little later, and that should be some interesting running there. So let's quickly bring you up to speed with what's happening at the long jump pit. So the men's long jump is still in progress as we watch some athletes walk along the perimeters of this facility. We see the likes of Rochelle Clayton. Alia Baker, though, should be in action just a little later. They're all here, and they should be contesting that 400 meters. Let's see what will happen. But so far in the men's long jump, Sean D. Thompson continues to lead, level 8.02 meters, ahead of David Tomlinson 7.50. Aubrey Allens is in third with 7.36. And in fourth, it looks to be Savannah McLeod, 7.15, and running at the top 5 in that the men's long jump, which is still going on as we speak. Leonard Botai of Bethlehem Moravian College with 7.05 meter. So now we get ready for the women's 400 meters. And let's just tell you quickly who will feature in that one. And this one should be very interesting in terms of the athletes who have been listed and those that have reported. So it's going to be done in 2 sections. And this is the women's 400 meters. The first section, or the B section as it is so called, should feature Anisia Troas of Michael, Nayera Scott of Titchfield in 3. In 4 should be Kaya Itza of Camperdown and also of Trinidad and Tobago. 4 should feature Brianna Powell of UTEC, 6 Deandra Harris of UTEC, and 7 Cecilia Moses of Motorcade in that first section, and the section A, or the more competitive section, should feature Anna Charles of UTEC, Annalise Brady of UTEC, Shanna K. Anderson also of UTEC, Kellyanne Beckford of NVP, Rochelle Clayton of Elite, Alia Baker of Elite, and Giselle Shaw of the NVP track club for this one. So this should be two very good sections of 400 meters running, as we hope to see what the likes of Rochelle Clayton and Alia Baker will do in the next section. Rochelle Clayton, world champion medalist over the 400 meter hurdles, that's where she is most known, and should be very interesting to see how she gets herself ready, because she's one of the featured names in that Grand Slam track meet that is to come right after the closing of the Boys and Girls Championships. Well marketed and very hyped event that should be. So let's see what will happen. What will happen at that Grand Slam meet. But for now, you're listening to commentary of the 16th staging of the Velocity first 16th edition, being brought to you courtesy of StrideVision Television, happening here at the JC Ashenheim Stadium complex. And so far, if you've just tuned in, you'd have missed the heats of the men's and women's 100 meters, along with action from the women's discus. And as we speak, the men's long jump is coming to its close, but you're still in for a lot of action that is to come, to include the women's 400 events like the 200 meters and the finals of the 100 meters that is to come up later on. So section B will run first, and then section A will come up next in the women's 400 meters, and that is to be followed by the men's 400 meters. So very interesting event. So we're seeing 4 athletes showing up for this section. 2 from UTEC, looks to be one from Camperdown and the other lead from Titchfield, that are listed for this one. So 400 meters, some high school athletes, yes, they're here. I think this might be their final dress rehearsal for the Boys and Girls Championship, which by next week this time should be coming to a real good crescendo inside the National Stadium. A lot of people are excited for that one, to see what will obtain on that newly refurbished track. Exciting colors, exciting new look, and let's see if that track will produce the times as we anticipate with its usual billing when we get to Champs. Champs is known for fast time, along with some very interesting competition from the top schools that will be vying for championships. So section B of this women's 400 meter features Naida Scott of Titchfield, Brenna Powell of UTEC, Deandra Harris of UTEC as well, along with Itzen of Camperdown. All 4 have reported for the start. So the starter calls them to their marks, and Gun sends them off, even break. Let's look to Powell from UTEC, so to Harris. So Harris makes an early lead and move from Harris, but it's been tracked closely by Powell of UTEC. So to Itzen of Camperdown, is tracking her nicely, but looks to be advantage to Harris, Deandra Harris it is, of UTEC. But Itzen now makes a move as they approach the 200 meters mark. It looks to be Itzen that will challenge Harris of UTEC. It's of Camperdown that will do much of the running as they come into the home stretch is all about DeAndre Harris. So DeAndre Harris now who looks to move away from this field. And in second is Einstein, but it's all about DeAndre Harris of UTEC. Harris of UTEC. He will win this one. There's no carriage in her today. So DeAndre Harris comes through 56.07 ahead of Heinz of Camperdown. And the young lady from Teachfield finishes third ahead of Brenna Powell, who finishes at the back of the field. So it's all about Harris of UTEC winning that one ahead of the high schooler Heinz of Camperdown and also of Trinidad. 56.09 for Harris, 57.63 with Scott in third, and fourth was Powell. Scott's time 59.31 and Powell's time was a minute and 15 seconds for young Powell as she finishes fourth. So now it's going to be the more competitive of the two. So let's tell you about this section A. As we said before, should feature the likes of Rochelle Clayton and Alia Baker. Clayton, World Championship medalist, top 400 meter hurdler, and Baker, former outstanding athlete for IDEL, and also represented the country with distinction at the junior level, trying now to make her mark as a senior athlete. But there are others there. Should feature Annalise Brady, runs out of lane 2. Shanake Anderson runs out of lane 4. And both are of UTEC in lane 4. So it's Anna Charles in 2 rather, Brady in 3, Anderson in 4, Clayton, that's Rochelle of Elite, runs out of lane 6, Alia Baker in 7, and Giselle Shaw runs out of lane 8. So Kellyanne Beckford, who should have been in 5, is a late non-starter. So now we're seeing also coming later, Celia Moses of Motorcade has now reported, and she is in lane 1. So 7 will face the starter for this one, but a lot of the running should be coming from Rochelle Clayton, so to Alia Baker, and let's look also for Anderson of UTEC, who should provide some very stern competition for the seasoned campaigners and those professional athletes in the outer lanes. So the starter calls them to their mark and even break, and the gun sends them off. Rochelle Clayton moves very quickly, so to Anderson, but it's all about Rochelle Clayton. Alia Baker is also there, but Rochelle Clayton now covers Baker as they step down the back stretch. It's all about Rochelle Clayton looking strong. Anderson of UTEC is also there. So Anderson of UTEC tries to challenge Clayton, but Clayton is holding the advantage at this point as they approach the 200 meters mark. It's all about Rochelle Clayton, but Anderson is in close strides to her and will try to match her, but it's all about Rochelle Clayton. So Clayton and Rochelle, that is now being challenged by Anderson, but it's all about Rochelle Clayton. Clayton of Elite, and look at Anderson now from UTEC. So Anderson of UTEC now will try to challenge her, and Anderson will take it from UTEC. Anderson 52.17 ahead of Rochelle Clayton. So 52.20 personal best, that is for Shanake Anderson ahead of Rochelle Clayton 52.38, and Alia Baker 54.12. So Anderson, formerly of Bustamante, now represent UTEC, doing well there, getting the better of a very strong, outstanding athlete in Rochelle Clayton. So Anderson there will
in the parade-sponsored women's 400 meters.
So Anderson of UTEC doing pretty well to win that one ahead of Rochelle Clayton. New personal best times for Anderson. It's interesting to see what will obtain because the men comes up next, but we're still reeling from the action from the women's event that was just completed. So we know that this one should be very interesting. That is.
If you're on the roster athletics app, it says Final E. And we start from lane number 8 and welcome from the University of Technology, Matthew Morris.
So the men, so let's tell you about the first heat of the males. And this one should feature Orette Davis runs out of lane 3 from Clarendon. O'Malley Harris of Guyana runs out of lane 4. In lane 5 is Christopher Gibson. 6 Romario Stewart. 7 Sean Gordon. And in lane 8 should be Matthew Morris rounding out the field. They're in this first section, and we should have 5 sections, men's 400 meters here. So the first one is on track, and all 6 athletes have reported. Let's see who will get the first of. In this one, Davis of Clarendon, Ari of GC, Gibson of NVP, Stewart of Michael, and Gardner of UTEC. So the gun sends them off, and it looks to be UTEC, Gardner, so to Mars of UTEC, but look to the young man Stewart of Michael that makes the early running there. So it looks to be Mario Stewart. Romario Stewart of Michael has really opened up almost a 10-meter globe ahead of the field, and he's powering over the first 200 meters. Let's see if he can last home, but it's all about Romario Stewart, who is really dominating this one, looking strong as he turns for home. It's all about Romario Stewart from Michael, looking strong, and he's looking to close out this one. No challenges in sight for Romario Stewart. Stewart of Michael will come to win this one, 47.91, winning this one ahead of a blanket finish for second. So 47.96 for Romario Stewart of Michael, and he gets that one very easy. From the start, he dominated, and he will accept that time as a new personal best for him. Sean Gardner, 50.52 for Gardner, as the others finished down. 50.57 for Gardner, 50.80 for Harry, and 50.85 for Gibson. Davis, 52.76, section 1.
11.74 meters. They're in the 4th round now for that competition.
So section 2 should be on track shortly. We'll tell you who comes up in those ones. So this is 2 of 5 that comes up next, and we'll tell you the start list for that one shortly. Well, one section has been done. So running out of lane 1 should be Jabari Branch of JC, and also Trinidad and Tobago. Thomas Mbewe of Racers should be in lane 2. Ryan Webber of UTEC in 3. 4 should be Leroy Gallimore of GC Foster. 5 Antoine Williams of Michael. 6 Yazid Daniel of UTEC and also Barbados. 7 Jamil Young in 7, and Adrian Smith of UTEC in lane 8. So hit to face the starter, and based on what I'm saying, all 8 have reported for the start. So a mix of collegians along with some professional athletes here, and we're seeing at least one high schooler in branch who runs for JC and Trinidad and Tobago. Young man from Zambia is in 2. Utex's Weber is in 3. Gallimore of GC in 4. Michaels Antoine Williams and Yazid Daniel of UTEC in 6. Jamil Young of Michael in 7. Adrian Smith of UTEC runs out of lane 8. So this is section 2 of 5 in the men's 400 meters. And they look now to see if they get to a time faster than we saw in the first one by the young man Romar Stewart of Michael. This is section 2. So there's a little delay in the start. I'm not sure what the officials are saying, but this event happened so close to the long jump pit, and we saw where the long jumpers were warming up, and we're not sure if something is being requested of the athletes, or is it that they're asked not to have an interference with the long jump warmers and the start of the event. So this is section 2 of the men's 400 meters, and it's all about the UTEC crew to be challenged by the athlete from Michael, the 2 from Michael, so to UTEC's, JC's branch. This young man from Trinidad will look to match stride with these athletes. So the gun sends them off, and it looks to be the athlete from UTEC. Weber is there. So to Yazid Daniel of UTEC that starts earliest of all and moves. So to Jamil Young of Michael. Smith of UTEC is also there, but look to the young man from Barbados, that's Daniel. Daniel of Barbados will go through, but Young is still there, Smith is still there, but Daniel and Young will look to battle out this one. So to Smith of UTEC says a 3-way, 4-way battle now, make that a 4-way battle as a young man from GC. Gallimore from GC will try and to steal a march as Gallimore on this one. So the young man Gallimore of UTEC holds off Mbewe of Zambia to win this one in a close matchup. 48.19 for Gallimore ahead of Mbewe of Racers and Zambia for that one. So not as fast as what we saw in section 1, but some good time here. Mbewe 48.22 and Weber 49.02. So Gallimore there getting the better of the Zambian, and Weber it is that finished third. Ryan Weber of UTEC finished third with 49.02. So that's section 2 completed of the men's 400 meters. Now let's look to section 3 in this, the men's 400 meters, and we tell you quickly who comes up in this one as the athletes are setting their blocks. Section 3 should feature Jamar Davis, Adriana Smith, and that's Davis of Titchfield, Adriana Smith of MVP, Shamar Blake of Elite Track Club, Ramon Campbell of Michael, Darian Skerritt of Swept, Dejan Grant of JC. Those are the athletes, as the young man from Optimum is a late non-starter in this section C of the men's 400 meters. So let's look to what the young man Shamir Blake of Elite will do. He's been an outstanding high schooler. But so to Skerritt in lane 6, who represents Swept Track Club, and also Smith from MVP. So 6 to face the starter in this one. And let's see, still the fastest time done is the time by Romario Stewart in section 1. Let's see what these athletes will do. So Davis of Titchfield, Smith of MVP, Shamar Blake of Elite, Campbell of Michael, Skerritt of Swept, Grant of JC, and there's no athlete in lane 2. So the gun sends them off, and off they're going. So look to Skerritt of Swept that has moved. Also, so to Ramar Campbell. Grant from JC's Grant is also there and is looking to do some quick running. Blake is also there. But look at Darren Soto Blake. Elite Blake is there, being tracked nicely by Darian Skerritt from Swept, Blake from Elite. Those two are looking for the advantage, but look at Shamir Blake now from Elite that now steals a march on Skerritt. So it's all about Shamir Blake, but Skerritt challenges him, but Blake will try to hold, and Blake will try to hold this one, and yes, he will hold in 47.83 ahead of Darian Skerritt. So that time eclipsed the time done by Romario Stewart from Section 1, 47.81 ahead of Skerritt Section 3, with Shamir Blake coming up with a decent 47.81 to win that one, and now leads all competitors. So Section 4, and this is the penultimate section, will come up shortly. And this one should feature Mark Manley, who runs for UTEC, Emil Gordon of UTEC as well, Michael of UTEC, Kemar Davis of Dynamic Speed, Derek Grant of GC Foster, Melenga runs out of 7, and Marcus Hutchinson in lane 8. So, and Melenga, we're seeing a few Zambians here racing under the banner of UTEC, and yes, a lot of athletes from that continent we saw to be Zambians that have all now sought the expertise of Racers Track Club in the development of their programs. And let's see what Melenga will do here, like we saw from his competitors and compatriots in the previous each. So it's Manley from UTEC, Gordon from UTEC, Mikhail from UTEC, Davis from Dynamic Speed, Grant from GC Foster, Smith from UTEC, Melenga from Racers, and Marcus Hutchinson from Michael, as all 8 are reported for this, the penultimate event in the men's 400 meters, as they start to cause them to their marks. It should be an interesting one there. So the gun sends them off. Let's look to the young man from UTEC. He looks to be Semester from UTEC that goes out pretty quickly. Semester of UTEC that is doing a lot of the runner. But so too Melinga is also there. Emil Gordon is also there. Gordon, but Semester, it is that does best of all as they approach the 200 meters. It's all about Semester. With Melinga right there, Semester is holding the advantage as they come off the curve, final curve now. It's gonna be Semester from UTEC. Now looks to the young man on the inside, that's Melinga, but it's all about Semester that's trying to hold him off. But Melinga is not too far back, but it's gonna be Semester. Based on what we're seeing, Semester will win this one in 46.45. That's the flash time. And let's see what time that will come back to. That should be the fastest time down. 46.43 for Semester out of Melenga, 47.34. So those 2 times are faster than the ones we have seen. 47.74 for Davis in third. Those 3 times, some quick times done by the young man from Trinidad and Tobago, and also of UTEC, Semester winning that one there and looking pretty strong in that event. So it's now going to be the big one that a lot of people are looking forward to see. This is the A section, and yes, a lot of people are looking forward because it should feature some big names. But let us quickly tell you who will line up in this one. Demar Murray runs out of lane 1. Kennedy Luchambe runs out of lane 2. He's from Zambia as well. Lane 3 should feature Javier Brown running courtesy of Swept. Malik James King Erdler runs out of lane 4. Rashawn Clark 400-meter Erdler as well runs out of lane 5. DeAndre Watkin of Elite the reigning 400 meters national champion, runs out of lane 6. Patrick Henbayayi runs out of lane 7, courtesy of Racers and Zambia. And 8 should have been Bembridge, but we're not seeing Jeremy Bembridge. So Yambe from Zambia in 7, 6 Watkins, 5 swept, 4 James King, 3 Brown, Luchambe in 2, and Murray, Damar that is, runs out of lane 1. So this one should be much more competitive between the two 400-meter hurdlers, matching stride with young DeAndre Watkin. Watkin, the faster of all three based on his personal best, 44.48. But let's not sleep on James King, neither Clark. They are gonna give him some strong competitions this evening. So too Javier Brown, that young man should provide good competition as well. And let's not forget about Murray, who runs out of lane 1. So it's a mix of 400-meter hurdlers matching stride with flat 400-meter runners. In this, the final section of the men's 400 meters here at the 16th staging of the Velocity Fest. So the starter calls him to the mark. It's all about Murray, Luchambe, Brown, James King, Clark, Watkin, Yambe as the 7 that faces the starter. So the gun sends him off now. And let's look to DeAndre Watkins. So Watkin and so to Clark. Clark has started brilliantly as he looks to cover Watkin. No move yet for James King, but it's all about Clark along with Watkins. So it's all about Rashawn Clark. Now at the 200-meter marks, it's still Rashawn Clark with Watkin and the young man from Zambia on the outside, but it's Rashawn Clark on the inside that will lead them into the home stretch. It's all about Rashawn Clark ahead of DeAndre Watkin. Now will try to respond, but Clark holds advantage at this point. DeAndre Watkin now puts in another effort, but it's all going to be about Rashawn Clark. Rashawn Clark will win this one as he looks at the clock. 44.96. That's the flash time as he glance over to the clock. And I know that's going to be some time there. 44.98 for Rashawn Clark. Wow. Wow, that was some stunning running there by Rashawn Clark. 44.98 ahead of Watkin, 45.59 for second. So it's a meet record there for Rashawn Clark. 44.98. The hurdler announces himself this season. We know of his abilities and capabilities, but Rashawn Clark made a bold statement there with that new personal best effort. 44.98 ahead of Watkin, 45.69. Now let's just tell you that race was very competitive, but Rashawn Clark looks strong. Brown finishes in third, 45.62. James King fourth, 46.36. And those are your top 4 for that event. So Rashawn Clark will win that 400 meters, doing so in that final section in a strong meet record. And of course, we know that he will want to transition that speed over the 400-meter hurdles, those 10 barriers, and see what will become of it. But so far, Rashawn Clark is looking strong, looking fit, and looking confident based on what we saw early on and stuff. All right. So we're still here. Now we are going to get ready for action from the 800 meters for men. Yeah, action from the women's long jump is on track. So too the discus throw for men. But we're still savoring that run from Rashawn Clark as I get ready to exchange place with Roger. And Roger, you just saw what young Clark did there, and a lot of persons were a little shocked, but what are your thoughts and your reaction to that run?
No, Rashawn Clark is a very talented athlete. He has been, I've been seeing him from when he was a junior at Camperdown from the early days. He always showed great talent. He can also sprint, and when you run 44 seconds, it shows that he can sprint. And you know, this is a guy that I remembered him a couple years ago at the Penn Relays. He anchored the Camperdown team to victory, holding off a very strong Jamaica College team on anchor. So we are seeing the immersion of a very, I think the sky's the limit, and he's preparing to maybe even take the Grand Slam. Of course, they are here, the world record holder, and Benjamin from in between some of those athletes this year, and we have just seen some evidence of what he's capable of this year.
Long hurdles being cleared with the 400 and the 400 meter hurdles. And just to see what
Jamaica second year and well, that's a good time for him. And Javier Brown, also formerly of Jamaica College, 45.62 with and 46.36 for fourth, and Patrick Nyambe from Racers and ended race from Roshan Clark.
As they start
Men's 800 meters.
here they are.
7 athletes going in this first section.
Catch our breaths from that outstanding run by Roshan Clark.
Just a glimpse of what Intercal will look like in a few weeks. For the men's 800 meters.
For this one, and let's just tell you who the athletes should have been. Conroy Robbins of UTEC, of UMona, sorry, Montague from UTEC, Ricardo Roberts of Clarendon, Boyan Boyd of VIP, Shaquille Shand of GC Foster, Kamar Hutchinson of VIP Track, Clarendon College's Ryan McKenzie, and Justin Green of the College of Agriculture, Science and Education. So the first 400 meters.
Hutchinson of VIP Track Club is there, and now he goes to the front. Wimbledon Mona's Conroy Robinson also moving up dangerously, and he takes control down the back stretch. Conroy Robinson of UWI Mona still with the lead as they transition down the home stretch. Robinson, can he hold on? Hutchinson will chase all the way. Robinson runs out of gas, and he'll have to set it for second as Hutchinson comes through. 1:59.37, around about where he's been for 2025 so far. Men's discus throw competition is in progress. Shad Wright still leads the way, 60.08 meters. That was round number 1. 59.84 is what he delivered in round number 2. 2 falls for Frederick Bakers, the 2019 World Championship silver medalist and the 2-time Commonwealth Games champion. Yet to get a mark. The MVP-sponsored women's long jump is also in progress. The Guyanese Odessa, France, representing GC Foster College, leads the way with 5.62 meters. That came in the second round after 5.15 in round number 1. Tamari Dawes of Michael in second at 5.23 meters. The A race of the men's 800 meters coming up next on track. 4 of the 8 listed athletes turning up for this one. We start in lane number 8, Eliasu Ali, representing Jamaica College by way of the Turks and Caicos Islands. In lane number 5, representing Purple Panthers Track Club by way of Guyana, Samuels Henry. In lane number 4, College, Jabot Park. And in lane number 2, representing VIP Track Club, Raheem Walker. That's the final section of the men's 800 meters.
On your mark.
Well, this could be a fine race. Samuels Henry of Purple Panthers Track Club in lane number 5. Gerald Burke of Bethlehem Moravian in lane number 4. And Burke has had a fine season already, and you look to continue that going into the Intercol Championships, where he would love to secure the gold medal for Bethlehem Moravian, who are building quite a program down there, and so we'll see what he delivers in this one. But it's the man from Purple Panthers, Samuels Henry, all the way, who takes up the early lead with Burke. Eliasu Ali of Jamaica College is in 4th, but it's Henry of Purple Panthers ahead of Burke. That's where the race is expected to be, and that is where it is. Raheem Walker of VIP Track Club wants to have a say, but he is just off the pace in 3rd. Samuels Henry still holding strong. Burke in 2nd position. Walker forcing the pace down the back stretch. 200 to go. It's the man from Purple Panthers, Samuels Henry. Jabot Burke starting to struggle. Henry of Purple Panthers well clear. Burke trying to rally. The race is not over yet. Down the stretch they come. Henry of Purple Panthers. Burke of Bethlehem Moravian. So often he leaves it late, Jabot Burke, and he leaves it late again, but he times it perfectly, and Burke gets the win. 1:55.68. Just about where he's been this campaign. Might well be his fastest time this season. Jabot Burke 1:55.88. Who once again had a good win at the Western Relays, and he produces another good win here at Philosophy First to 16. 1:55.95 for Henry of Purple Panthers. Ali 1:58.94, finishing in 3rd position. The athletes for the men's and women's 400 hurdles. The athletes for the men's and women's 400 hurdles who should be at the start area. The athletes for the men's and women's 400 hurdles who should be at the start area.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Olive McNaughton. My company is Jamaica College, and we are agents for Grand Slam group booking. Join the vibe. Jamaica Sports. We have a member or no.
The I jump there, winning bronze in his first international competition. Doing so now. Let's see. Hope that it inspires the others. And this afternoon should feature the likes of Christoph Bryan, outstanding athlete formerly of Wolmer's, and also did country as a junior and still trying to make good on his career as a senior. Same camp as Raymond Richards. So Jamaica's coming good with the track. Field events have been what now people would slate as the lifesaver for us at these championships. So one medal so far at the World Indoors ongoing championship day 3, and the final day comes up a little later, Jamaica time, which is the third day in China for Jamaica. And until we get that action, we're featuring the 16th staging of the Velocity Fest. Nothing is happening. There's a break on track as we look steady to see what will happen for section 1 of the 400-meter hurdles for women. That's the first one that should come up, and we're seeing just about 2 athletes that have reported for this section, and we will tell you momentarily who those 2 are. I can tell you one is from GC in action on the track, so you're not missing out on anything. But the women's long jump men's is Amelia Jeffrey of GC Foster, and also from Great Britain. So 2 athletes there on track, and Jeffrey from GC Foster will contest this one. So the others 2 have included DeAndre Harris, who we saw earlier winning the 400-meter section 1, and Excelsior haven't reported for this one.
At the grandstand in April, there will be at least one
So interesting it will be to see what you hear in the background. One Olive McNaughton is trying to get the fans here chances to win tickets to the Grand Slam track meet that comes up, and the fans no doubt are enjoying the givings and the gifts that she's to know that you will want to be there. That's not an event to be missed. So now the officials are getting ready for the 400-meter hurdles. 2 athletes in this one, just under 2, running out of lane 5. That's Briggs Gold, and 6 Jeffrey Amelia Jeffrey, courtesy of GC Foster.
Here's the lineup for the women's 400 hurdles.
So let's see who will best able to navigate these 10 barriers and in what time that will be done. The personal best time for Briggs Code 59.49 done this season, and also Jeffrey's personal best 1 minute 04.75 done this season. So both athletes have really been rounding into their events, done their best ever over their barriers this season, and let's see if the trend will continue. For this afternoon, we have seen several personal best times and also season best times being done by the athletes here. Let's see what these two will give. So starter sends them off. Briggs Gold from UMONA and Jeffrey from GC Foster. So Briggs Gold clears the first hurdle. By that indicates she leads, but not too far from Jeffrey. So Briggs Gold is striding better of the two, clearing hurdles first, but it's still evenly matched as they get to the 200 meters mark. It's all about Omila Jeffrey and Briggs Gold of UMONA challenging Jeffrey on the inside, on the outside, Briggs Gold on the inside. Now Jeffrey stumbles on that hurdle and gives a little advantage to Briggs Gold. So Briggs Gold now will come into the penultimate hurdles. That's Briggs Gold, and she gets that one very easy. It looks much stronger than Jeffrey. So Briggs Gold now make that final hurdle and will sprint to the line. Says Briggs Gold that wins this one ahead of Amelia Jeffrey in a time 101.43 seconds, winning that one courtesy of UMONA ahead of Jeffrey 1 minute 02.85 for Jeffrey. So not too bad at times there for a 2-woman race in the women's 100 meters, as the men steps on track instantaneously for the men's event, and that should feature one section, and we tell you what the start list in that one should be. We have the likes of Tayshawn Berry of GC Foster, who should be in lane 3. Lane 4 should feature Tyrese Iman. Lane 5 should feature Denico Luke of Racers and the Dominica Republic. Asani Wills of Titans should be in lane 6. Shaquille Gordon of GC Foster in 7. And David Moore runs out of lane 8. And let's see if all have reported of the 400-meter hurdles. We just saw the likes of Malik James King in the blistering time, going sub 45, 44.98 for Roshan Clark. Grand Slam event that's going to be 400 and 400 meters flat over that 3 days. So some good work being put in by young Clark as he gets ready to challenge the world. Those events, as I said before, 400-meter hurdles, both on the women's and men's side, have really gone to a different stratosphere in terms of the competitiveness and what it requires to be a world-class athlete. No longer can you rely on just being average. You got to be super in order to feature, much more to be in the conversation for a medal. So let's see what James King, whatever outstanding season in 2023 and so to 2024, along with Roshan Clark, who has been doing well for some times now, what they will do. This one should feature Asani Wilson, another outstanding talent who's trying to look to stake his claims in this event. So to Denick Luke, who we know has been here for a while. He used to be an athlete at GC Foster College. Now he trains at the Racers Track Club. Tyrese Iman also is there, but Asena Wilson should be the better of these competitors based on his personal best times done. But again, it's 10 bars to clear, and just about anything can happen with these bars that have been set in front of the athletes. So we're seeing Berry of GC Foster, Tayshawn Berry. We're seeing Tyrese Iman in line 4. Denny Luke in 5 is there. Asene Wilson is in lane 6. 7 as Shaquille Gordon, and David Moore is also there. So all the athletes have reported, 6 athletes listed, and all 6 have reported for the start. So very interesting times ahead, because right after this we'll get ready for the 200 meters, and that should feature some very interesting names, the likes of Tina Clayton, and we hope to see what she does here, as we have gotten accustomed to the twin turbo Tia, and anywhere they show up, people are always excited to see what they will do. So let's see what Tina will do. It's sponsored by Tina herself, and she'll feature the likes of Crystal Slowly, Shamara Williams, McGregor, Kemba Nelson, and how can you forget Cheyenne Summon is also gonna be there. So Tia gonna be Tia that is gonna be contesting the 200 meters, courtesy of or sponsored by Tina Clayton at this the 16th staging of the Velocity Fest, meet number 16, as I said, and happening here at the JC Ashenheim Stadium track complex. So you're not missing anything at the moment, viewers or listeners, as the officials are trying to enter us. And we have seen in time pass where the heights of hurdles and so starters that they can go. So again, it's all about the Denny Luke of racers, Asini Wilson of Titans, Shaquille Gordon for 1 of 1 in the men's 400 meter hurdles for Wilson, and so too for Wilson, and so too Luke
The France of GC.
And coming up, they have 5 listed competitors for this event. And there's a hive of activities taking place up by the start of the 200 meters. Javelin currently on the way. And it's to witness some good track and field action. We'll witness some outstanding performances. The National Championship 400 meter hurdles 4th place finisher last year. National Championship 400 meter hurdles 4th place finisher last year. Apparently they are updating the list as it is now, of course, and Salmon representing Sprintec. Out of lane 4 we have Mikhail Moody, GC Foster. In 5 is Kemba Nelson. She represents Elite. And she runs from lane 5. In lane 6 we have out of Barbados and the MVP. Seda Williams from Barbados. And in lane 7 we have the Olympic finalists, the fasting. So they will get the race on the way. Tade Williams. Now Tia Clayton responds, kicking off the curve and into the straight. Nelson 23.11. Very close, but Williams with the win. 23. And Tade Williams gets the win. 23.10. Clayton second, 23.11. And Nelson third. So that was a very close race. And from our vantage point, it appeared as if it was Clayton with the win. But actually, Sarah Williams, she showed strength, especially in that final 10 meters, to really tear Clayton. 16, off and running this time. Level break, running well. McIntosh, level break, running well. McIntosh, Hutchinson, Tuller coming down, 21.97. Tuller coming down, 21.97. Close between Marcus Hutchinson and Ramon.
21.96 for Mario
Hutchinson and Ramon.
21.96 for Mario McIntosh.
Hutchinson second, 21. Hutchinson second, 21.98 for David. 98 for David. First section of the men. First section of the men's 200 meters, 21.96. 200 meters, 21.96. On Williams from Michael, 22.36. Of course, the fastest time overall will be determined the winner. As we get prepared for section 2. Remy in Haffenden, Michael in 3. Gibernal swept in 4. O'Day Somerville, UTEC in 5. Keshawn Thomas Motorcade in 6. Lennon Green unattached in 7. And Dominic Williams UTEC in 8.
Section 2 of the men's 200 meters, the competitors from lane 8.
So we have 6 competitors for this second section.
In lane number 8, Dominic Williams, UTEC. In lane number 7,
We just saw Hutchinson with the win in the first heat.
Gio Bernal, swept track club by
In
Panama.
21 point. As the athletes go to their mark for this meters. We saw Sada Williams earlier winning the women's event ahead of Tia Clayton. Off and running. Green gets up well, unattached. Thomas from Motorcade follows him. Coming around into the straight. Dominic Williams of UTEC, tracked by Lennon Green. So it's Green and Dominic Williams. Williams steps away. Green with the win.
21.96 for Green.
Point 4 in section 2 of the men's 200 meters here at the Velocity Fest as we head over now to section 3 of the men's 200 meters.
The lineup for section 3, lane number 8, representing Dynamic Speed, Wayne McPherson.
So, your list of competitors for this section 3. We have Deshaun Gordon in 1. In 2 is Ashan Segri, Dynamic Speed. In 3, Nicoy Drummond Allen. We have Jaheim Diossi, GC Foster, he's in 5. Jodine Morgan, 7 listed to face the starter here in this third section. Their marks. Off and running. So, Ferguson on the outside. Kennedy tries to close in the middle. Jones leads coming off the turn. Beside him is Diossi from C with the win. 21.26. So,
for Conroy Jones in 5th.
Dynamic Speed, 21.69. And Deshaun Terrence Gordon, 3rd from New Era. As we head now to section 4, where we have 7 competitors again listed.
Diet.
I'm not certain if the announcer is a change in the lineup for the men's 200 meters. We have Michael Sharp in 2, Jalen Diet MVP in 3. Out of St. Catherine High. Off and running. Davison gets up well. Jamba follows. Sanjan Barnes is there too. On we go. 20.88 for Sanjay Davison. Sanjan Barnes second, 0.88 in a negative 1.0 win reading for Sanjay Davison out of Dynamic Speed, formerly of St. Catherine High. So we step now into
He's the reigning world champion over 400 meters, representing the races
the penultimate section, the men's 200 meters. We have Xavier Nairn, formerly of Woolmer's. He's out of races in lane 1. Shane Romain Smith, Dynamic Speed in 2. Shamar Horatio, races in 3. In National Junior 100 meters record holder, formerly of Kingston College. Now we look for him out there in lane 5. Adrian Golson in Sprint Tech in 6, lane 8. So this could be a crack race. Some speed here. With the likes of Antonio Watson of 200 meters. As they're on their marks. He was injured last year. 20.67 the official time. Goal straight. And with about 80 meters to come, win in a nippy 20.67 seconds. A negative 0.4 win reading. 1.93. So Antonio Watson. Looking good. Over 2. And now.
Welcome,
The race where a lot of persons wanted us.
what's about to unfold.
As
Thomas in Ford,
Rowan Blake finishes 4th, 21.15.
Then the big guns in the center. Zarnell Hughes of Racers will center. Zarnell Hughes of Racers will go in 4. Akeem Blake of that will go in 4. Akeem Blake of that.
And women.
Individuals, association clubs.
On the way as well in the javelin event.
Come here, my official. Come here, sir.
We know Frederick Dakers had won.
What is the next
Not seen.
event that Jamaica Sports that Bronson on? Easy question.
Javelin event, 6-0.
Joel Facey.
And the lineup here, Joel Facey, he 1.1 win reading.
The Jamaica squad.
16 here at JC Ashenheim Stadium.
Of the men's triple.
Ashenheim Stadium.
Of the men's triple.